This podcast shines light on strong and talented women who excel and persevere in life while bathing in abundant self love. So, if you're ready to keep it real, level up in all your inner work, creative business, and community impact, then you've come to the right place because we provide you with content that helps your soul glow and your mind grow. Thank you for pressing play. Let's dive in.
Hey community, Brett here, back with another solo episode. Wow, so what to talk about now? It has been quite a month for me of dealing with just really strange and bizarre interference, like with what I'm doing, with what I'm building, with what I'm creating, with my art show. And that really hasn't been fun, but like I said before, I'm always able to just find peace in whatever situation presents itself for me. Like, that's not really hard for me because it's something that I always had to do growing up in a chaotic household. So I of course have been like annoyed that after announcing something that should be celebratory and wonderful and great news, that instead of like anyone in my family saying anything about congratulations or wow, great job, Brett, or blah, 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 instead it was constant text harassment, like constant stalking of my social media accounts, constant them telling me that I'm not who I am, them trying to break me down in any way to like confuse me and belittle me into basically, I don't know what. Like, I honestly don't even understand it at this point. Like, and I think that's okay. And I think that that's why, like, I don't know, I'm just like in a really happy space again. And like, that was just complete and utter nonsense. And that, whatever that was, like, projections from others really just don't have to do with us. And I think that when we come into and step into that awareness, it's easy to just be like, that doesn't matter, I'm done with it, like, because that's what it is. But I do think that, like, your feelings always have to be acknowledged. And I think that so often society teaches us to bypass our feelings and bypass our emotions and not like move through them, and you have to feel it to heal it. So me like writing that blog post, me speaking my mind in the last solo episode, that's how I, as a black woman, move through things. And it's just, and my art is a way that I heal. And that's why I think that art has definitely and always will save my life, because I don't think that there's any way I would have survived growing up in a household like that, where where that happened constantly over and over again, just like people berating me and telling me I'm not who I am. And it's just like, that's why I'm so strong and have such a strong sense of self and sense of character and just a sureness of who I am, because people have been trying to break me down my whole life, like, and I think that it's just so funny that, like, people try to compete with me or like get envious of me or want what I want, but you don't know what I have been through. You don't know what I've come out of. And that's why you should never compete with or try to like one up or like whatever it is, try a game with anybody like that, because you never know what the next person has been through. And for me, like, yeah, it was like, I mean, not growing up it was just growing up like where I always had to walk on eggshells, or I would get yelled at or screamed at or told that I was less than I am, or told that like I'm evil. My mom made up a name for, like a name like I had like an evil twin or something, when was probably angry because she like emotionally, checked out after the divorce. And like, but either way, I just think that that was cruelty, honestly. And I think that sometimes families just are cruel. And like, it's okay to say that, and it's okay to acknowledge that. And the world is not going to end if one person, acknowledges their struggle. I think that it's like, failure and falling and struggle, it builds character, it makes you who you are, and like, I think that sharing stories of struggle, sharing stories of what we went through, sharing like, like, yeah, this shit was fucking hard. Like, that's a testimony of what you've been through. And we all deserve to like, share what we've been through, because other people need to learn what we've been through to not make the same, maybe not make the same mistakes, maybe have an easier path, or simply just to know that they are not alone, because so many people have similar experiences, but so many people are afraid, nervous, scared to voice what they have been through. And I'm just not afraid, and I've never really been. It's just not really a part of my like character. And because it's not a part of who I am and it's not a part of my character, um people often have tried to instill and put fear into me, put fear into my plans, put fear into who I am, try to like rain fear on what I'm doing, like it's wrong or something, like I'm a drug dealer because I want to be an artist or something. Like, it's wild. And just like the storm of envy and like jealousy and malice and weirdness and gossip and slander that I've just come out of is bizarre. I don't even, I don't like, there's not really like any explanation or reason for it. So that's why I just like, I chop it up to projection, because it literally has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with what I'm building. It has nothing to do with what I'm creating. It has nothing to do with like who and what I am and know I am inside. Like, and it has nothing to do with self-love. So I think that like that's been a huge part of like the journey, and me just like coming into center, groundedness, peace, self-love, harmony again. Because I mean, yeah, generally I'm just pretty much like a happy going, upbeat person. And most people do not understand it. They don't understand like why I'm that way or how I'm that way. And not like I owe them any kind of like explanation, because I really don't. Not like I ever owed anybody an explanation, but like it's a part of my story, it's a part of my testimony. So I like to, tell it sometimes. But yeah, the joy that I cultivate within, it's not like outsourced. From some it's not from any other like person, place, or thing. Like, it's from my soul, from within, from the depth of who I am. And that's what comes out on the page. That's what comes out in the STUK Girl illustrations. That's what comes up in my personal art collection, because I'm stable in the light of who I am. Like, it's just, and I don't know, like, there's no other way. There's no other way to explain it. Like, it's so weird. Like, people will ask me like, well, how do you do the things that you do? Or like, how did you get this? Or how did you do it? Or whatever. I don't know. I'm just being me, because I went through some really fucked up shit, and I had to become this very like stable, grounded, solid, loyal person. And I also don't fuck with bad karma ever. So I'm not going to ever like do somebody like, I'm not going to snake somebody. I'm not going to like do some evil shit to somebody, because I believe in karma, and I I mean, if you understand astrology, we can say that I'm a Vedic Capricorn rising, and I understand karma. I understand that it's a big deal, and I care about my soul. So it's just like I don't move the way that most people move, and I think that confuses people sometimes, which is not my fault, and I don't really care. It's just like I am who I am, and I love who I am, and I fully embrace all of what I am. Like, it's just self-love has always been a part of my journey, and it's always been something that I wanted to master, and I've been years into mastery of it at this point. And so when things like storms come in, like you know like my dad telling me that I'm less than I am, or like my mom starting a nonprofit to compete with me and not wanting me to be involved, and my and like my and my dad's girlfriend not letting me see my own sister for like 2 years, or whatever it is. It's just like I have inner stability. I have an inner stabilized system. So no matter what happens externally, I can still move in my highest light. I can still move as my highest self. I can still get everything I need to get productively done, because my joy is sourced from within, because I have self-love and grounding and peace and an internal guidance system. I don't know. I've been worked my whole life on it because it's just what I wanted to do, and it saves me every single time. And I think that art also saves me every single time. That's, why I say art saves lives, self-love heals. But you can also say self-love save lives and art heals. Like, it's one and the same. And I think that, without my art, I mean, even this podcast as an art, I don't think that I don't think I would be able to be that which I am. Yeah, I don't think I would able to maintain my success and everything that I have to do to get things done, or and I definitely would not have survived a family that can always has and continues to break me down, especially when I'm at my highest points of success. But because I built myself up to be so strong within, I can do anything. I don't, I can do what I want. I can be who I want. I can create what I want, because I've had years and years of self mastery. I've had years of conditioning my mind, and building strength from within. And because of that, it's like I feel like I just want to teach others how to do it. I want to teach others how to, eliminate anxiety caused by others. I want to teach people how to rise up out of feelings of depression or feeling low or whatever it is. But something really interesting along my journey is, I realized I don't know if I'm anxious. I guess I kind of am prone to anxiety, but I'm really not deeply anxious unless it's like family stuff, because that's where it was conditioned within me. And that's a shame. And I don't want other people to have to really you know, go through that and have to move through that. So, yeah, it's just like I've been vlogging on my personal site. I've been vlogging my road to my solo show, and never did I think that such roadblocks, as I've encountered, would really come up. And it's just been so bizarre and so strange, like my family stalking my social media, and just straight text harassment, just on, and it never ends. It's just bizarre. But it's like I wouldn't have my sanity if I didn't have self-love in art, you know? And I think that that's really what I'm trying to convey to other people, that like self-love in and art in combination is so important. And art teaches you self-love, because art makes you have to like sit in solitude and be alone with your thoughts. And if you don't have loving thoughts, if you're like berated with thoughts of negativity, thoughts of self-doubt, thoughts of low self-worth, low self-esteem, then you can't really create at your highest capacity. And I don't know if my family knows that or not. I mean, I think anybody knows that, right? Like, it's just like when you put thoughts and you plant seeds of doubt and fear into people, you fuck with their art, you fuck with their ability to create. And I think that you know, like, artists require peace, and we require, like, yes, just peace and solitude to create our best work. And you know, and sometimes it can be fun. I think it's actually I think it's really fun to create, like, if you know, if friends are around and we're just creating, or but it's just like, it's also you got to be like people that you vibe with, you know, um unless it's a mural, which is different. I mean, I don't know, like, oh, murals are a different feeling entirely. But you know, I think that it's just art and self-love are so important in combination, and they really do provide protection. And I don't think that like I really wasn't in, I've never really been like, growing up or anything, I've never really been like emotionally protected. I always had to find my own way to, like, you know, cultivate the garden within, to find my own kind of source of like of protection and stability, because I didn't find that, you know, within the family system. Like, and so I kind of had to like build that up within. Um and so it's just, and it's something that I've had to do again and again and again and again. And like I said, like, I think, you know, everything that I say, like with my family, it's far deeper than I like explain on this podcast. So like, you know, I've had to been kicked down and got up like so many different times at this point, that it's just like, it really doesn't phase me anymore. It's not going to stop my joy train. It's just not. Like, it's not, it no. No, no, not anymore. So I think, like, also to really move through like what I have encountered and experienced with like these bizarre family like attacks and harassment and whatever, and then even some from friends groups and stuff like that. It's just been to, I mean, one, to acknowledge that like it, your projections and your harassment, that tax, it just has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with who and what I am. It's like, it's a projection, it's vapor. It doesn't affect me. I don't know. I don't, and I'm not even gonna pay it any real attention after this. Although at the art show, which will include STUK Designs, art prints, and photography, you know, I will share my story in the most authentic, non-censored way that I have. But, you know, I think that I've really shared enough, you know, of the cruelty that happened, you know, when I was growing up. And it's not like, it doesn't have to be a part of my story moving forward. Like, we can shift and change and shape and alchemize our stories. We don't have to be the same person. Like, what's that quote? You don't have to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. Like, we all have the ability to evolve and change into the highest version of ourselves. And like, I don't even resonate really, you know, with that person anymore, who they treated that way, you know? So and so it's not a part of my reality anymore. But I think it's so important to voice these things. I think it's so important to like it's important to speak your mind. It's important to stand your ground. It's important to speak your truth and to speak it boldly. But I don't think that that should be on an endless loop. I think you should always get out of a victim loop. And I think that, once escaping that, like, a testimony is a testimony, and a story of my life and a story of how I became an artist is my story, like it and my reality. And it really doesn't concern others. It's just like what I've had to experience because of what you rained on me, it's not really personal. So, yeah. And, I just love, like, I love this art media. I think that podcasting is a beautiful artistic medium. And I really love to dabble in every art medium, whether it's like drawing, painting, various kinds of painting. I love ceramics. I love doing like claymation stuff. Whatever it is, I love video, photography. I think that, like, I just I love it all. I love the arts as a whole, and I think that they've all played a part in my healing. I would not be able to be as grounded, centered, peaceful, healed, as I am today without art. Like, and so I guess the one thing, maybe I shouldn't say the one thing, like, I guess, like, so I guess something that, my parents did do right is, like, at a young age, expose me to the arts, expose me to photography, because in a way it protected me from a lot of the trauma growing up that I had. Because, if there is yelling and screaming, I could just go to my room and close the door and, start drawing or become in my own artistic world, and it wouldn't really affect me. And I think that that's so important for kids, especially growing up in this, like, volatile society that we have right now, this crazy world. And, art is such an important outlet, and it can pull us away from social media and pull us back into ourselves, into our own hearts, and into our own souls, and into our own grounding and centeredness. And that's not for nothing. It's a very deep thing. And an artist to their art is a very real connection. And in a way, I do really truly believe that we are all artists, but not many people, fully embrace that. No, not many people fully acknowledge that, or want to go there. And that's okay, but you all have it in you. And life is art, life is beauty. Everything you see is, like, creativity and beauty. But, like, so often it's just like we shut our eyes to it, and like, we can't see the beauty that is all around us, the beauty that is the souls of other people, the beauty that is in each flower, in each plant, in each, like, fragrant thing that is around. And, it's just like beauty is everywhere. Art is everywhere. Art is beauty. Beauty is art. And I think when we really tap into that inner knowing, life can become so much lighter, so much more buoyant, so much more joy filled. But, sometimes we forget that we have an artistic side to really, like, explore and cultivate and resonate with and expand to. And and I want the collective to know about the power of art, and that in art we are one. But, like, I also want kids to understand this, because, oh my God, like, I don't know what I would have done as a little kid if I didn't have the outlet of art to ground me, to help me find my peace again, to help me find my footing again. Because I in all the years and in all that I've been through, I've never just, like, absolutely not creative, I always will find my way back to it, or always will sketch something or find some kind of medium to connect me back to art. Even if it's film sometimes, even if it's movies. Movies are a huge artistic inspiration for me. Um, and so, yeah, I think that for one, I think that we need to talk about protection for women of color, protection for Black women, because in this in these past few months of show preparation, when I've been attacked or whatever, like, and and endeavored to stand up for myself, or whatever, like, the only person who reached out to me was my dad, and no one else in my family even acknowledges the fact that I have a podcast, even though I know they listen. It's just very strange. And I think that, like, it's like it's such a strange thing that our culture does, like, ignore the inner state of people. And I honestly think that it relates back to just like capitalism. I think it relates back to slavery, because in you know during slavery, no, there was no time to acknowledge somebody's inner state. We just bypassed it. We ignored what people were going through. We looked away from the disgust of, oh, looks too uncomfortable, oh, that looks painful, gross, ew, let's turn away, let's shun it, let's not acknowledge it, let's make it easier on ourselves. And I think that we've, like, through ancestry, I think that has continued. Those same traits have continued.
So, to wrap things up, I just want you guys to know that, ultimately nothing real can be threatened. And if you saw in the video, I have a tattoo on my arm and it's an arrow. And at the tip of the arrow, it says stuck. But under the arrow, it says nothing real can be threatened. And Jay-Z said that, but also Eckhart Tolle said it in the book, The Power of Now, because ultimately nothing real can be threatened because all that's real is love. And love from its most inner and authentic place can never be removed from you because it is all that you are. It is the essence of everything you do and everything that you create. And only love is real. And, I think that remembering that and just having this tattoo on my arm as a constant reminder of that, always grounds me and brings me back to my light within. I want you all to know how capable you are and how powerful you are. And I would love for you all to just, show up in the world with confidence and to remember that, you are in the world, but you are a beautiful, creative, spiritual being, not necessarily of the world. And it takes a lot to face the world with confidence, to show up. But I think we have to remember, just to like keep showing up every day and to keep, being the highest version of ourselves every day and to try to, just take one foot in front of the other and like just brick by brick and like just to do simple, mundane, little tasks with love, because little tasks done with love really do accumulate and they really do build up, to create a bigger picture, a greater and grander vision. So yeah, I just want you all to know that no matter what you're going through, like, you can find a way out and you can escape it and you can escape family cycles, past old karmic cycles, and I think a beautiful way to navigate your way out of that is through art and self-love. So today, no matter where you are, no matter if it's nighttime, afternoon, evening time. I wish you guys so much love, so much peace, and so much creativity. Keep creating, and don't ever, ever, ever let anyone take away your superpower, your ability to create art in this world. And keep showing up. Keep being the best version of yourself every single day. And yeah, we love you so much. Hey STUK community, we would like to invite you all to step into the movement with us. We believe that art saves lives and self-love heals. Self-love is so important because it is an aspect of mental health. So we want to drop the negative stigma attached to mental health and combine self-love with art. So we created this cute little coloring sheet for you all to color in and help support us in our cause and just to get involved. Even if you don't have any funds to give, that is okay. You can still support because art saves lives and self-love heals. So check the link in our bio to get involved, to color in your sheet this weekend. Tap into your inner child. We are sending you so much love and light, and thank you to each and every one of you who has already supported.
Hi everyone, hope you liked that episode. We are all about preaching self-love and empowering women and girls around the world. Support us in our journey as we provide art supplies and many more resources to girls in Ghana through our two programs, the Fly Girl Initiative and Little Artists. We are also working on hosting more Color for a Cause events, as well as our No Filter school tours. Your help will enable this organization to work on bettering the lives of people around the world. For more information, visit our website www.stukdesigns.org.